Hello, dear family. Welcome to Echoes and Tales. Kindly hit that subscribe button and give us a like. It truly means the world to us. Don't forget to share this video with your friends and loved ones, and be sure to turn on post notifications so you never miss our upcoming stories. We truly appreciate your support. Now, sit back, relax, and let's dive into the tale. Lean closer, child of the calabash, and warm your ears by the story fire. On the green breast of Nkuli Hill lived two sons of one womb, Kato, first to wail, and Kibu, first to laugh. When they were boys, their quarrels sounded like rain on a metal roof. When they grew tall, their clashes cracked like dry season thunder. Yet they shared one mother, one drum of authority, and one great banana grove whose leaves whispered, "Brothers, breathe as one." Chief Mugabe, their father, watched from the spirit shadows. Before he journeyed to the ancestors, he left them three treasures: the grove, a fat herd of spotted goats, and an ebony drum carved with the lion's mane of rulership. "Guard these together," he said, "or termites will feast on my legacy." But the twins let pride herd their hearts. They split the goats by horn count, halved the grove by a crooked stick, and turned the drum face down so neither could claim it. Meanwhile, far beyond Nkuli, the wind tossed a different seed. In the fishing hamlet of Luseke, a girl named Sanyu shone like first light on lake water. Orphaned, she trusted a silver-tongued trader who promised city riches. His promise was a spider's lure. Silken, sticky, spun for his profit, he delivered Sanyu to Lord Bwanika, the merchant with copper gates and crocodile eyes. Weeks became wounds. Songs became sobs. One starless night she wrapped her scant belongings, slipped past sleeping guards, and fled toward any dawn that was not Bwanika's. Down the red road she ran, barefoot on gravel, heart drumming faster than Mugabe's old lion drum. And the wind, mischievous as a trickster hare, blew her footsteps straight toward Nkuli Hill, toward the twin thunder still rumbling in the dark. Night in the savannah can hide a spear or reveal a savior, depending on which ancestor guides your stride. The moon that watched Sanyu was thin as a sorrow's smile, veiled behind cooking smoke drifting from unseen hearths. Every rustle became a guard's boot, every firefly a spy's lantern. Yet her legs obeyed the command of terror, carrying her past thickets of wild hibiscus and groves where civets whispered gossip. At the foot of Nkuli Hill, a jackal barked, a warning, or perhaps a welcome. Sanyu paused, listening. Behind her, hoofbeats. Bwanika's riders? No. The thud belonged to an ox cart trundling downhill, driven by two shadows arguing in a single breath. She stumbled onto the path, too weary to care if death or deliverance met her first. The cart screeched to a halt. Oxen snorted clouds into the chill air. Kato sprang down, jaws set like a warrior's shield. "Girl, do you yearn to be crushed beneath our wheels?" he barked. Kibu slid after him, softer, already uncorking his water gourd. Sanyu tried to answer but found only dust in her throat. She swayed. Kibu's arm caught her like a tree limb, catching a falling weaver bird. In ragged murmurs she told her tale, the false promise, the copper gates, the locked rooms, the escape through shadows. Flames of anger danced in Kibu's eyes. Sparks of suspicion flickered in Kato's. Yet even Kato could not miss the whip marks on her ankles, the fear coiled in her shoulders. "Hide her?" Kibu pleaded. "Till dawn," Kato grunted. And no longer. Thus the twins smuggled Sanyu into their late mother's hut, a round house smelling of dried cassava and forgotten lullabies. Outside, the wind worried the banana leaves like gossiping tongues. And somewhere beyond, a merchant's wrath began its hunt. Dawn painted Nkuli Hill gold, but within the twins' compound a hush lay heavy, thick as millet porridge. Sanyu woke on a straw mat, the ache of yesterday still braided through her bones. Through the doorway she saw Kibu humming as he milked a goat, gentling the animal with praise. Nearby, Kato counted bunches in the grove, muttering as though each banana were a debt unpaid. When the brothers met at the yard's center, words sparked like flint on stone. "Her presence endangers the clan," Kato hissed. "Her innocence shames your hardness," Kibu retorted. Back and forth they fired accusations, until Sanyu stepped between them, palms raised like twin peace flags. "Quarrel later," she begged. "First decide if mercy lives on Nkuli Hill." Kibu offered sanctuary beyond sunrise. Kato offered a single night. No more. Their mother's hut, perched beside the compound wall, became the courtroom. And there, dusty and silent, rested the great drum of authority, carved lion face buried in earth, because neither twin dared waken its judgment. Sanyu knelt before the drum, tracing the ebony with trembling fingers. "Your father spoke through this wood?" she asked. Kibu nodded, voice low. When the drum boomed, the clan moved as one. Kato folded his arms. "Now it sleeps, and we decide by tongue and temper." Sanyu listened to the silent drum, and in that hush, she heard possibility. "A drum muted is still a drum," she whispered. "But a heart muted becomes a grave." Her words fluttered like sparrow wings, soft, easily missed. Yet even Kato's stern brow twitched, as though an unseen hand brushed it. Outside, goats bleated and banana leaves applauded the rising sun. Inside, 3 souls weighed fear against mercy. The drum waited, patient as earth, for the day someone would dare turn its face to the sky and let unity speak again. Far off, where dust meets mirage, Lord Bwanika awoke to a courtyard empty of fear. His morning pleasure was to parade captives before breakfast, yet Sanyu's mat lay folded, her anklets gone. At first, Bwanika laughed, a hyena's cough, thinking the girl would stagger back like a thirsty goat. But when noon boiled and still she did not crawl home, his laugh curdled into storm clouds. He summoned his copper riders, men whose spears gleamed like sun on river water. "Track the runaway," he snarled, "and bring her whole." My coins whisper she fled toward Nkuli Hill. The riders cracked whips against the sky and galloped through valleys, raising dust spirits that coughed in their wake. Along the way they questioned charcoal burners, millet sellers, even children tending guinea fowl. Each tongue told half-truths, for Nkuli folk had seen the terror in Sanyu's eyes and felt the drumbeat of justice echo under their ribs. A potter pointed down the wrong riverbank. A blind griot described her fleeing east when she had gone west. Thus do strangers become shields when tyranny marches. By sundown the riders reached the lower slopes of Nkuli. There they found goat tracks, cart grooves, and one shredded heel print, proof the prey was near. They camped beneath fever trees, sharpening spears, vowing to storm every homestead by dawn's first crow. But in the hush between owl calls, a village boy named Nsubuga crept close, eavesdropping like a mouse at a granary door. What he heard he folded into his memory, ready to sprint uphill come morning, for Nkuli children are messengers swifter than any horse. Up on the crest, unaware of copper riders, the twins argued harvest shares, while Sanyu mended a torn sleeping mat. Destiny, that sly weaver, was nodding new trouble, even as the stars winked over Nkuli Hill. Rooster Song had barely scratched the sky when Nsubuga, feet bare as new yam, raced into the twins' yard. His chest drummed, words tumbled. Copper riders, fever trees, sunrise raid. Kibu steadied the boy with water. Kato's teeth flashed like a machete edge. "Hide her in the grain store," Kato barked. "No," Kibu countered. "They'll smell sorghum dust. Better the valley cave." They turned to Sanyu. Fear fluttered in her throat, but her gaze was clear. "I have fled enough," she said. "If Bwanika wants chains, let him find only my shadow." At that moment an old nanny goat wandered near, one eye clouded like a milk moon. She nuzzled Sanyu's palm and bleated a note that sounded strangely like trust. Village elders swear animals carry ancestor whispers, and perhaps this goat bore such a message. Kibu's brow lifted. "The goat trail!" he exclaimed. Beyond the grove, a narrow path wound through thornbush and into the hidden ravine where goats sheltered from storms. Sanyu could follow the herd. Goat prints would mask human steps. Kato grunted approval, fetched a hooded cloak, and slung a bag of smoked plantains across Sanyu's shoulder. Just then the ground murmured, distant hoofbeats climbing. Time cracked. Kibu kissed the nanny goat's forehead, as though sealing a covenant. "Guide her," he whispered. Sanyu slipped onto the trail, cloak melding with foliage, the moonbright goat trotting ahead like a lantern with legs. Moments later, copper riders burst into the compound, dust swirling. Spears glinted, questions spat. Kato met them, arms folded, voice like cooled lava. "Seek treasure in termite mounds if you wish," he told them. "No strangers here, only soil and sweat." Riders scattered to search huts, overturning granaries, thumping hollow walls. Yet they found only echoes and goat droppings. When they thundered off in frustration, Kibu exhaled the breath he'd been holding since sunrise. Far below, Sanyu followed the goat's sure-footed dance, the ravine opening like a giant's yawn to swallow them in safety. For now. The goat trail zigzagged down to a ravine where ferns nodded like old matrons gossiping over calabashes. At ravine's heart crouched a limestone cave, cool as an elder's council. Sanyu entered, the goat padding beside her, and found a pool fed by trickles from overhead stone. When she cupped water to her lips, the pool's surface rippled into images: two arguing brothers, a veiled drum, copper riders circling like hawks. She shivered, unsure if vision or imagination stirred the water. Outside, clouds rolled over Nkuli Hill, bruised purple with promised rain. Thunder growled, distant kin to the twins' quarrels. Sanyu gathered dry twigs, coaxed a fire, and sang a lullaby from Lake Luseki days, a song her mother once used to call tilapia to the nets. The cave walls carried her voice, weaving harmony with the dripping roof. Meanwhile, atop the hill, Kato and Kibu faced the void left by Sanyu's absence. Kato's fists itched for spearwork. Kibu's heart sagged with worry. "Our pride drives her into darkness," Kibu said. Kato scowled, but the scowl faltered. He fetched the great drum, still face down, and brushed dust from the lion carving. "Father warned us," he muttered. "When kin quarrel, strangers raid. Lightning split the sky. Rain flung itself upon Nkuli, like dancers stamping the earth. Down the slopes, brown torrents charged toward the ravine. In the cave mouth, the nanny goats stamped and bleated alarm. Sanyu peered out, a wall of water racing between boulders. The ravine was becoming a river. Back at the compound, the drum finally thundered. Kato's palms struck, the sound rolling through rain, like a summons to spirits. Every herdsman, every potter, every child heard the lion drum roar after seasons of silence. Kibu seized a rope and a jar of healing oil. Without another word, the brothers bolted downhill, guided by drum echo and the memory of a girl whose courage had shown them their own cowardice. Rain fell, the rocks sang, and destiny quickened her tempo, for the tale had decided the twins must now choose: save Sanyu together, or lose more than a grove to the flood. Rain hurled its spears against Nkuli Hill, and every gully turned into a serpent of mud. Kato and Kibu sprinted downhill, the great drum strapped to Kato's back, still trembling from its awakening beats. Villagers followed. Women with woven ropes, youths with palm leaf torches flickering in the wet. Even old Nsubuga's grandmother wielding her walking stick like a staff of command. At the ravine's lip they paused. Below, a brown flood foamed, swallowing goat paths and thornbush alike. Where limestone had yawned dry hours earlier, water now roared, daring any soul to cross. Kato scanned the torrent, jaw clenched. Kibu knelt, touching the ground, as if listening for Sanyu's heartbeat beneath the thunder. "Build a rope bridge," Kato ordered. Villagers knotted lianas to acacia trunks, hands slipping on rain-slick bark. Kibu tied one end around his waist. "I'll go first," he said. Kato grabbed his arm. If one twin falls, the clan limps forever. Behind them, the nanny goat bleated from an overhang, moon-white eye glinting like a spirit's lamp. A sudden crack. Part of the ravine wall sheared away, crashing into the flood. Time shrank to a heartbeat. Kato flung the drum to a safe patch of grass, looped a second rope round his waist, and together the twins plunged. Waist deep, chest deep, they fought the current, water biting like wild dogs. Liana knots groaned but held. In the cave, Sanyu had climbed onto a rocky shelf with the goat. She saw silhouettes, two figures wrestling the river, and a sob escaped her lips, half fear, half relief. She tore her wrap into strips, knotted them into a makeshift line, and when the twins drew near, she tossed the cloth rope. Kibu caught it. Kato braced the liana behind him. Inch by inch, battered by debris, they hauled Sanyu and the goat toward higher ground. When at last the three collapsed together on the bank, the villagers cheered, rain drumming approval on leaf and skin. But far atop another hill, copper riders watched lightning reveal the scene, and their captain whispered, "The runaway has strong allies. Tomorrow, we burn their strength to ashes." The storm passed, leaving the land cleansed yet trembling. Villagers escorted Sanyu back to Nkuli compound, where clay hearths sputtered back to life. Women wrapped her in dry bark cloth, massaged her limbs with shea butter, and braided her damp hair so the cold would not catch her spirit. The nanny goat settled by the doorway, guardian eyes half closed but ever watchful. Night deepened, and under a sky rinsed of clouds the clan gathered around a new-lit bonfire. Sparks climbed like fireflies, seeking lost brothers. Kato raised the ebony drum. Its lion face glowed fierce in torchlight. "Hear me, children of Nkuli," he called. "Our quarrels open cracks for evil to creep in. From this flame forward, let our voices be one roar." He turned to Sanyu. "Sister of courage, speak what your heart desires." Sanyu stepped forward, nerves fluttering like moth wings, yet her voice was steady. "I desire only peace, the kind that lets seeds sprout without fear of boot or whip. But peace must have guardians." She looked from Kato to Kibu, then swept her gaze across the ring of faces. "Will Nkuli stand when copper spears return?" A hush fell, broken by the cough of old grandmother Naka, who leaned on her stick and said, "Spears break against a wall of hearts." One by one, villagers answered with oaths. Potters pledged clay for slingstones, herdsmen goats for alarms, hunters arrows tipped with river-sleek poison. Kibu clasped Sanyu's hand, announcing, "From this hour, she is clan as surely as twins share blood." A cheer thundered, yet beyond the eastern ridge, Lord Wanaka's riders sharpened more than metal. They honed fury. Their captain fed fireflies to a small brazier, murmuring charms that made the insects glow green with malice. At cockcrow, he vowed, Nkuli will taste smoke. And the fireflies, trapped in flame, winked their grim agreement. That brings us to the end of the story. What lesson did you take from it? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you'll know whenever we release a new video. Also, feel free to share this with someone who might enjoy it. Thank you so much.